Hi, welcome to this week's Sim Racing News Roundup, and as I've been on holiday, it's actually a bit more like a week and a bit's worth of stuff we've got here as I try and catch up. So we've got a lot to cover, so let's kick right off. First of all, Rush Rally Origins has had a teeny tiny little update, and I do mean tiny, because it's fixed one thing. The auto throttle accelerator has been fixed. That's it. That's all it does, so there we go. And then moving over to Forza Horizon 5, Series 7 is upon us now, updating Forza Horizon 5's Mexico Funland, and having just got back from Mexico, I'm going to be enjoying getting back into this one. One thing to keep in mind is a lot of these updates and fixes and patches and new content I've not had a chance to look at properly because, as I say, I've been away for 10 days. But Series 7 brings a lot of new stuff focused around Cinco de Mayo, which is the Mexican celebration of culture, cuisine and heritage. So I'm looking forward to trying that one out in the next couple of days. Moving over from Forza, we have Assetto Corsa Competizione has a hotfix out. Most of this is really small stuff again, and focuses around, in terms of what you'll see, some liveries have been added in. So added liveries for partner esport activities and bonus GTWCHEU 2022 liveries have been added, and a few other bits and pieces have been fixed and tweaks around the HUD and engine map, and a few bits and pieces like that, but not much. Again, another small update, this time for Circuit Superstars. It's a few penalty fixes, Top Gear time attack records and weekly time trials, crowds added back into Interstate where they disappeared from, and a few other tiny bits and pieces, but nothing major in that one either. We've then got a really nice surprise for Wreckfest. So it's the upcoming May-June tournament has been released, and we've actually had a new track been added into it. Tours Dallin circuit has been added in. I'm sure I pronounced that really badly. So yeah, new stuff for that. I'm going to have to drop back into Wreckfest. It's been a long time since I've done anything within Wreckfest at all. Okay, next bit's a big one, so it's broken down sort of into three parts, and it's around RFactor 2. On the face of it. So there's new content coming to RFactor 2. We're getting Donington Park and we're getting Brands Hatch added in as official content, which is really good news. We're also getting the 2021-22 BTCC added in. Well, to start off with, we're getting two of the cars from it. The Infiniti Q50 and the Toyota... the Toyota Corolla GR Sport, with more coming, which on the face of it seems absolutely brilliant, and don't get me wrong, I'm looking forward to this. But hold on a second, isn't RFactor 2 made by Studio 397, who are owned by Motorsport Games, who were supposed to be bringing out a BTCC game? Yes, is the answer to that. It's a bit of a rhetorical question. So what the hell is this content doing coming to RFactor 2? Oh, that's right, Motorsport Games appears to just basically be a long con, and the BTCC game is been shelved to be released who the hell knows when, despite the fact it was supposed to come out in 2022. Now, we do also have news that Laguna Seca is also coming to RFactor 2, so it seems like in a desperate bid to try and make money, they are taking content that probably would have ended up elsewhere and piling all into RFactor 2, so it'll be interesting to see what the pricing is like for all of this stuff when it comes out. And all of this may or may not, it's been denied, but may or may not be related to the fact that Studio 397's managing director, Marcel Offermans, is leaving, or rather has left Studio 397. So there's a lot of content coming out, but it's not going where Motorsport Games said it was going. It all appears to be being dumped into RFactor 2. So yeah, what the hell's going on there, other than it all stinks of Motorsport Games basically just being a bit of a con, and you can watch plenty of videos on YouTube around that, and I strongly advise you do. It's just odd, quite frankly. odd. It's the best way I can describe it. So, moving on from that, Raceroom Racing Experience is getting some new content, which I'm also very glad about, and that is Interlagos is coming, and we have a mysterious new car. It's going to be open wheel one, but we don't know exactly what that's going to be. I really like Raceroom. I always have done since I first played it, and new content for Raceroom for me is always welcome, so I'm looking forward to that, despite the fact that it will, of course, cost me money. We've then had a big update for Gran Turismo 7, so this is update 1.13. So it's added its first post-launch content, 3 cars and Spa 24 hours and some scapes added. So the cars are the Subaru BRZ, the GT300 version of the BRZ from the Super GT Championship in Japan, and the Suzuki Cappuccino has been added as well. So 3 solid cars added into the mix there, and all for free. The Spa 24 hour layout is, I think, a bit cheeky to call a new circuit, or even really a new track layout, because strictly speaking the only things that change for the 24 hour layout is the pits get extended, so that they end up coming up near the uphill section, and the start-finish straight changes to after La Source, and they couldn't even get that right in time trial, by the way, either, because if you go into the 24-hour layout in time trial, the start-finish line for a lap is still the GP start-finish line before La Source, not after it, as it should be. So hopefully that will be tweaked in an upcoming patch. But what I was most interested in, being perfectly honest, was the fact that they've tweaked the physics here, and finally acknowledged that there was something wrong with rear-wheel drive cars that will just spin if you so much as look at them when you're going around a corner on a steady throttle, despite the fact that many people claimed this was 100% accurate and real and exactly what cars should be doing. They were wrong, and it is now much better. It still doesn't turn GT7 into a world-beating class-leading sim, but what it does do is at least mean that the basics, the fundamentals, are working pretty much as they should be now, and as a result it's significantly more enjoyable, and you can actually push the cars closer to the edge and over the edge a little bit without fear that it's just going to break away for inexplicable and strange reasons. So that's all good news and a massive step in the right direction for GT7. Oh, and the force feedback seems to have improved a little bit as well. It's still got the annoying rattle on understeer, but it's not quite as bad, and I think under certain circumstances I'm actually starting to detect the steering going light. So again, heading in the right direction. Well done, PD, on this one. I'm actually quite impressed that you've pushed this forward in the way that you have. We then have F1 22, and the trailer reveals the first look at the Miami International Circuit ahead of this week's Grand Prix, so good fun stuff there, and it's looking good overall, and there's enough new stuff in here, plus VR on PC, that means I will be picking this one up. I'm not paying for the stupid version though, so I will be picking this up on launch day, not paying an extra 20 quid to play it a couple of days earlier. No, thank you. If you look at the very end of the video, and I will link to it down below, you will notice that at the very end it teases one of the new supercars that you can apparently drive in time trial mode. We've then got Automobilista 2 has put out a new release candidate with a whole load of stuff going into it. I have downloaded it, but I've not had a chance to play around with this yet. I wanted to focus initially in the day and a half or so I've been back having a look at GT7, but this is next on my list. AMS2's new release candidate. Lots of changes, too many to go through on this video. I'll link to it down below, and I'll probably end up doing a separate video on the release candidate, even if, you know, it's a little while after launch. I don't care. I like AMS2. It's up there at the moment. And then finally, rounding things up, another motorsport games studio and title, KartKraft, has had to put out a message last Wednesday, basically just reassuring the community that they're actually still working on the title now that it's come out of early access, which again, this just adds to the list of things within the motorsport games family that are just going horrifically wrong. So yeah, there we go, that's this week's update. I've not had time to mess around with any Assetto Corsa mods, so no mod footage this week. You've been looking at some of the new content for Gran Turismo 7 here, so I will try and dig up some mods and have a play around with them over the coming week, ready for next week's weekly update. But that's it for this week. As always, all the links down below, and if you found this video useful, please do hit the like button, and if you want to see more content like this, please do subscribe to the channel and hit that bell icon to be notified when new content gets uploaded. Thanks very much for watching, everyone. Take care. Bye.